Analyst Mel Kiper had some very interesting things to say about Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson and what he thinks will happen if the Ravens do not win a Super Bowl this year. This and more on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Like the video. Yes. Welcome in. Welcome back to yet another episode of Quiet Storm Sports here on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. I am your host, Sutton Def, and we are back here on this glorious Friday, April the 10th, to break down all things Baltimore Ravens as we normally would here. Not really sure what's going on with my cameras up here. It's being weird. But let's go ahead and get right into it, right? Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's go over here. And I want to talk about something that Mel Kiper had brought up in his, I guess, interview on ESPN that he did earlier today. Somehow, some way, somehow, as it normally does, Lamar Jackson's name popped up in conversation. And I'm not exactly sure why it was, but it did. Here's Mel Kiper.
Mel, last thing very quickly here, because you are a Ravens fan and you made some waves this week with the comments about Lamar Jackson saying that if things don't work out, they may draft a quarterback in round one.
No, they will. Not may. They will.
Okay, wait. Go further on that. What's not working out for them this year, and what would trigger that?
Well, you got to start thinking about it. This season doesn't unfold and doesn't work out to the way they hoped, which is playoff Super Bowl, and Lamar doesn't get to the playoffs and play well, which he hasn't in his career in the playoffs, hasn't gone his way, then I think they're going to start looking, and this is next year's the year. If you're going to think, and guess what? They've had pretty good success with quarterbacks.
This is crazy, chat.
Joe Flacco didn't. Worked out pretty good. Won a Super Bowl. Think about Lamar. Lamar went 32. They traded back in after they had drafted Hayden Hurst. They got Lamar at 32. Almost got to day two. That worked out pretty good, right? Even though Lamar didn't win a Super Bowl, hasn't been good in the playoffs. That's what he needs to do. He needs to be good in the playoffs and get this team to a Super Bowl and have the kind of year we expect Lamar to have. I'm not saying Lamar can't. Lamar needs to. If he doesn't, and there's an injury or he doesn't get it done, then they're drafting a quarterback in the first round in 2027. Mark it down, put it in pen.
So you heard it there from ESPN senior draft analyst Mel Kiper. That he thinks that if the Ravens do not win a Super Bowl this year, first year under Jesse Minter, if they do not win a Super Bowl, all attention turns towards Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens are going to say, hey, look, you can't get it done. We're moving on. Lamar Jackson, I'm sorry. You gave 8-9 years at that point of your career to this team. You got 2 in what should have been 3 MVPs with us, but you know what? We're tired of you. You don't produce well enough for us. Have gotten better in pretty much every single metric imaginable. The one metric the only skill that we thought that you had, which was your legs, you've evolved way past being able to just use your legs. But you know what? We didn't make it to the Super Bowl in the first year of Jesse Minter's head coaching tenure. You're the problem. We're going to draft a guy. Round 1. Mel Kiper said this with so much conviction. Listen, Nero says it here in the chat. Arrest this man for saying that. Arrest this man. He needs to be put in handcuffs. Throw him in jail and throw away the key. Because what are we talking about here? Like, no, seriously. What the actual hell are we talking about? Now, just for clarity, Mel Kiper is not saying that the Ravens take a first-round quarterback this year. He's talking about in 2027. Again, if the Ravens do not make a Super Bowl, the Ravens are going to draft a quarterback. And his reasoning is just it's asinine. He's basically saying, oh, well, look at what the Ravens did in the past drafting quarterbacks. Joe Flacco wasn't a top 15 pick. Hell, Lamar Jackson was taken very last in the first round, 32nd pick. So basically what he's saying is it's easy to draft quarterbacks. It's easy to hit on the most coveted position in sports. It's easy to replace a Lamar Jackson, is what Mel Kiper is trying to tell you here. That's what he's trying to get across to you. You can replace those guys, no problem. This is way worse than what Mangini said. Me and Coach and Nitro were calling him mangina. This is even worse than the mangina comments. Mel, you deserve 80,000 lashes for saying this. 80,000 lashes for Mel Kiper. It's easy to draft quarterbacks, looking Clevelandly. Exactly. Come on. I mean, there's a reason why the Cleveland Browns have, 10 quarterbacks on their payroll? And that is not an exaggeration. They've been trying time and time again to draft quarterbacks. You see teams who literally have so many other pieces. They've got so many other pieces. They got a decent offensive line. They've got a star edge rusher. They may have a star receiver, tight end, but they don't have the quarterback. And every single year, teams are fighting to draft their franchise quarterback. And the Ravens have one. And you're saying if he doesn't win a Super Bowl this year, the Ravens are going to move off of him. I just want to know what the source is. What is the source? I want to play this one more time because maybe I missed something that Mel said.
Very quickly here, because you are a Ravens
fan. Maybe I missed
and
something.
You made some waves this week with the comments about Lamar Jackson.
Did I miss something, Chad?
If things don't work out, they may draft a quarterback in round
one. They
one.
will. Not may. They will.
Okay, wait. Go further on that. What's not?
If things don't work out, and he says, okay, if they don't make the playoffs or if there's an injury of some sort that happens to Lamar Jackson, he's saying in that case, the Ravens will then say, you know what, we're done with Lamar. We don't want to extend him. We're tired of working with him and his mom and dealing with the lack of playoff production and things like that. If the Ravens truly felt that way about Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh would still be the coach. Do they not realize that? If the Ravens thought all along, if they felt like that they were on their last straw of believing in Lamar Jackson, they would have never gotten rid of John Harbaugh. And Jesse Minter would not be the coach. Do you think Steve Bisciotti fired John Harbaugh after 18 seasons as his team's head coach? Do you think he fired him after 18 seasons just to give Jesse Minter 1 year with Lamar before they draft a first-round quarterback? Steve Bisciotti said himself, and this is why, again, guys, I hate the national media so much, how just willfully ignorant they are to the truth. Willfully obtuse. Steve Bisciotti said himself a couple of months ago on the podium at a presser. He said, yeah, the next guy who we get in, we want to give him some time. We're not trying to be the organization who is, flipping through coaches every single year or every 2 years. That's not who we are. That's not our identity. That's not our identity, basically said Steve Bisciotti. So why would Steve Bisciotti only give Jesse Minter 1 year with Lamar Jackson? I don't care what happens. I don't care if Lamar Jackson, knock on wood, goes down week 1 and is done for the season. Again, knock on wood. I don't care if the Ravens miss the playoffs. I don't care if they win less games than they did last year under John Harbaugh. There is no planet, there's no way, there's no chance that the Ravens draft a quarterback in round 1 next year. The Ravens were ready to give away 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby. Do you think that they would have even fathomed doing that? If they even had a feeling that they might want to go quarterback in next year's draft in the first round. Because Lamar Jackson, of all people on the roster, wasn't stepping up, wasn't doing it for him. Lamar is the franchise. He is the team. He is the heartbeat. The heartbeat. It just makes zero sense. And again, I would have loved for, and this is how you know a lot of this stuff is just like produced beforehand. Because I don't know, who is this guy? Who's the anchor here on this show? What's his name? I have no idea what this guy's name is. No clue. But you notice how he didn't push back on Mel Kiper saying this at all. He did not say like, hey, well, like what's your source on that? Like, why are you so confident? How can you be so sure? Mel Kiper saying things like, oh, you can put it in pen, they're going to draft a quarterback. He corrected the anchor here and said, oh, no, it's not a might. They will draft a quarterback in the first round. If Lamar Jackson either gets injured and doesn't finish the season, or if the Ravens miss the playoffs, Ravens are going to draft a quarterback. How do you not push back on that and say, where are you getting that from, bro? What's your source? I get it. We're both on ESPN right now. But like, where are you getting that from? Because literally nobody else in the sports world, there's been no leaked piece of information. There's been no public information. Nothing to suggest, nothing at all whatsoever to suggest that the Ravens are giving Lamar Jackson one more year. Let me check the chat. What up, Ashley? What up, Glaucoma? Mad Rasta? He's getting it from EDC and Bashadi, snaking Lamar? No way. Not possible. I mean, because literally, if you're EDC and Bashadi, how does that benefit you? If that's what you're saying. If they're telling the likes of Mel Kiper, if they're telling Mel Kiper, hey, look, if we don't win a Super Bowl this year, we uprooted this whole thing for Lamar Jackson to be able to succeed. If he doesn't do it in year one with Jesse Minter, then put the word out there that we're going to be looking for a QB next year, round one. Put the word out there that we're going to be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. Please. What? How does that help anybody? Especially before the season. Before this season, I mean, you would basically be throwing this season away. If it came out that they leaked that information to Mel Kiper, that's how they feel, how do you think Lamar Jackson is going to move? You would basically be throwing away year one of Jesse Minter. And who wants that? Who does that benefit? So no, I don't think that this is. I think that that's insane to kind of say that, Don Royal. And I don't know if that's exactly what you meant, but nah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening at all. Bait 2, if he keeps rolling his eyes. Let me see. Lamar has literally dragged dead bodies to the finish line during the season. He has. And he's the face of the league. Let me see. Let's be honest. The shortcomings of the team as a whole have never been solely because of Lamar. The O-line declining every year since he arrives, and supporting cast not living up to the moment. Yeah, that's been a large part of it. Even in Lamar Jackson's playoff losses, he still had moments where he was the only one doing anything. I mean, the biggest one that comes to mind is 2019 divisional against the Titans when, the Ravens were at home. They had the number 1 seed. And there were a couple of plays. There was the ball that went off Mark Andrews' hands that turned into an interception. And I believe there was a fumble in there somewhere as well. But outside of that, I mean, Lamar Jackson had, I think, 500 yards of offense himself. 400 to 500 yards of total offense himself. He scratches and claws to get back in these games no matter what. And he's not without blame at all. But the media tries to spin a narrative as if like it's mainly Lamar Jackson being the reason why the Ravens aren't winning these playoff games, when in reality, There's way more context and nuance to each and every playoff loss that Lamar has. When you really go back and you watch those games, it's the offensive line. It is the skill positions not stepping up when you need them the most. And that leads to Lamar Jackson pressing and making mistakes. And again, that's why I said he's not without blame either. But again, we paint this narrative as if, oh, it's all on Lamar. And again, that's why they're kind of saying here, if the Ravens don't make a Super Bowl, meaning if the Ravens do make the playoffs and they get bounced out again in say the first or second round, no matter what happened in those games, we're going to put that on 8. We're going to put that on Lamar. It's his fault. We got to go draft a quarterback because this guy can't get it done. So again, I would ask Mel Kiper, what do you say to all of the other quarterbacks who do not have a Super Bowl championship? What do you say to Josh Allen? What do you say to a Joe Burrow? What do you say about those guys? Do those guys have one more chance? Are those guys on their last straw, their last leg? If they don't win it this year, their team should go ahead and draft a quarterback or will draft a quarterback. You can put that in ink. Where do we get off thinking that it's just that easy to replace Lamar Jackson? That's what's most offensive to me, I think. Super chat donation here from Mad Rasta. Appreciate you, Mad Rasta, dropping the 5-piece in the chat, making it rain here on Quiet Storm Sports on this lovely Friday. Mad Rasta says Ravens have the fall guy Lamar. Ravens are grimy organization, but that is business. EDC and Bishotti made they had to fire, or I can't really understand what you're saying here. Mad they had to fire Harbs. Oh, okay, I guess you're saying they're mad they had to fire Harbaugh. I don't think so. I don't think that's the truth. I mean, we heard the story on why they ended up getting rid of him. They got rid of John Harbaugh because John Harbaugh didn't want to get rid of any of his assistant coaches. Right? Steve Bishotti went to John and said, hey, look, I just gave you a 3-year extension last summer, but we got to shake some things up. We need a new defensive coordinator. Right? Hell, we might even need a new offensive coordinator. We got to move off some of the coordinators. We got to do something different. Had nothing to do with Lamar. And Bishotti said, Harbaugh said, no, I want to keep my guys. I like my guys. Famous Harbaugh. I like my guys. I want to rock it out with my guys. Can we do that, Steve? And Steve said, nah, bro, I gave you enough time. So I think that you need to go. It had nothing to do with Lamar. Nothing to do with Lamar. The Ravens know what they have in Lamar Jackson. It's the reason why they have not invested as much as they probably should have in the offense. They think that with Lamar, it's just kind of the Ravens offense is just kind of set it and forget it. Oh, we don't need to spend a whole bunch of capital on the offensive line. We don't need to go out and get him, a bona fide wide receiver 1. We don't need to do any of that. We gave him Derrick Henry. Let the run game cook. We really want to focus in on this defense. That's what they're doing. That's what's going on here. I just, again, guys, and I don't think I let him finish here.
Working out for them this year, and what would trigger that?
Well, you got to start thinking about it. This season doesn't unfold and doesn't work out to the way they hoped, which is playoff Super Bowl, and Lamar doesn't.
What other team that has a brand new first-time head coach would they say something like this about? What other team? Tell me. If the Kansas City Chiefs fired Andy Reid tomorrow and they hired X new head coach, whoever, do you think the narrative would be, if the Chiefs don't win a Super Bowl this year, they're going to trade Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, but Mahomes already has 3 Super Bowls. Fine. Take Josh Allen. Oh, and by the way, the Bills did get a new head coach. And this is just like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. Where is this same energy? Where is the same energy? Yesterday, you had Charles Omenihu saying Lamar Jackson's been figured out. Today, you have Mel Kiper saying that if the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl, then obviously it's because of Lamar Jackson's shortcomings, nothing else, and the Ravens will draft a quarterback in the first round next year. Can anybody tell me why that is? Why they feel that way? I can't figure it out. Thank you so much, Mad Roster. What up, Shelly? Happy Friday. Let me see. Mars had the full control. Coach and Nitro are not joining this stream. For some reason, their thing from the other day is still popping up in here. And it's not letting me get rid of it. I have to do some technical work. I have to duplicate the studio. It's a whole thing, guys. It's a whole thing. Just listen in. It's crazy. These type of narratives that are being pushed right now. Lamar is a superstar with a massive following and generates fan interaction like nobody else. Yeah, it's honestly fascinating, isn't it? It's fascinating. You can tell the guys, the big wigs up at ESPN. And there's a car alarm going off outside my crib here. Apologize if you can hear that. But the big wigs up at ESPN, they understand what it takes to get a viral moment in the offseason. And I didn't expect this type of talk to start happening until like June, maybe early July. So like before training camp really kicks off, after the draft, the dust from the draft is settled and the schedule release and stuff like that happens in May. June is like the dead of the offseason where there's really nothing going on. Again, already gotten through the bulk of free agency, draft. You have post June 1 moves that happen, but that doesn't really do too much. It doesn't really swing the needle too much for the media. But so what better way to get like national media riled up? Let's just find all of the narratives we can about one specific quarterback. And it's exhausting, especially as a Ravens content creator, guys. I mean, because we go through this every single offseason. And I feel like no other fan base has to. No other fan base has to do that. It's crazy. June does be crickets. It'd be crickets. Ravens really don't want Lamar and they want to move away from him. I can't agree with that. I don't think that, again, if they really wanted to move away from Lamar Jackson, I think they would have done it by now. I mean, I know he's got the no trade clause. Yeah, there's just no way. It just doesn't make any sense. Lamar's loyalty has resonated with Steve. Lamar isn't good. Media really doesn't respect Baltimore. Used to trash Flacco regularly. Is he elite like Matty Ice? I remember those days. I definitely remember those days. But I could understand those narratives about Joe Flacco back in the day. Oh, is he elite? Is he not elite? Because he never really showed it unless he was playing in January. Typically throughout the regular season, he was up and down. He was hot and cold. So you can kind of understand where those narratives came from. Because the majority of the time, he didn't look like an elite quarterback. The majority of the time, Lamar Jackson is an elite quarterback. And like the overwhelming majority, like 85% of the time, he's playing on an elite level. But based off of the 15% of the time where he's not literally Superman, that's where we're making our arguments. That's where we're basing our opinions on Lamar Jackson. That 15% of the time where he's not being Superman. And it's sad. It's sad because that's how you get takes like this. Why are we still talking about Lamar Jackson like he's in the same stratosphere as a Kyler Murray? Can somebody answer that for me? Can somebody please? I hated that elite era too. And Don brings it up in the chat here. Justin Herbert flying right under the radar. And it's like, how, bro? If there's anybody that we should be having these sort of conversations about, it's Justin Herbert. It's old Jay Herbo. Still 0 playoff wins. Y'all remember when the narrative for Lamar Jackson is that he didn't have any playoff wins? When was that? So that was, I think he got his first playoff win in 2021, right, guys? 2021 against the Titans. I want to say that was, or was that 22? It might have been the 2021 season, but it happened in 22. But you guys know what I mean. At least I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the one. It was a wild card round. But yeah, that was the narrative for so long that he couldn't win a playoff game. And people killed him for it. Got these gnats. Got a little gnat in here. I hate these things, man. It's bug season, guys. Yet, listen, Justin Herbert is in year 6 or something like that, I believe. Still has 0 playoff wins. And yet nobody talks about it. Justin Herbert gets to enjoy his off seasons with Madison Beer, his girlfriend. Do whatever they want to do. Nobody talks about him in the media. Nobody cares. It's ridiculous. We got another super chat donation. Let me see. Mad Rasta, shout out to you, brother. Says, I will keep saying Lamar needs to retire early. What's the point of doing this when Baltimore media trashes him? ESPN trashes him. His own fans trash him. I'm not one of those fans. There we go. Make sure I'm not muted. I'm not one of those fans. I've always said, and I think I mentioned this yesterday on the show as well. Lamar Jackson is special because of his ability to be so thick-skinned and also be able to drown out all the noise. Because if I were him, listen, I might do exactly what you're saying here, Mad Rasta. I might have already retired. I might have been like, you know what, the hell with this. I already made generational money. I don't need y'all literally every single day. I wake up and I'm reading narratives on how I'm not good enough. Right? When I've reached some of the highest highs in the sport. Haven't gotten to a Super Bowl yet, but I've won most valuable player twice already in my career. I've proved all the doubters wrong after saying that I should not even have been afforded the opportunity to be a quarterback in this league. I should have been a running back. I should have been a wide receiver. Proved all the naysayers wrong time and time again. I might have threw my hands up and said, you know what, I'm done. But Lamar does a great job at drowning out the noise, and that's why he's one of the greatest. He's a Hall of Famer already. And you know what's crazy? What's up, RJ? You know what's crazy? Somebody said, I think the Dan Le Batard show said earlier today that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are headed for Dan Marino Island, right? Where, you have a Hall of Fame quarterback who got no rings. And, with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson both going into, I think it is year 9 for both of them, it's not an insane take because it's like if you haven't won one in your first 8 years, will you get there? I think it's a valid question. I think it's a valid question to ask. But again, it's only fair if you include both of them. I think that Lamar Jackson is a phenomenal player. I think that Josh Allen is a phenomenal player. But for some strange reason, the only one who gets held to the standard of Super Bowl or this guy just isn't it is Lamar. And the proof is in the pudding right here with what Mel Kiper is saying.
Get to the playoffs and play well, which he hasn't in his career in the playoffs, hasn't gone his way, then I think they're going to start looking, and this is next year's the year. If you're going to think, and guess what? They've had pretty good success with quarterbacks that didn't go top 15. Joe Flacco didn't. Worked out pretty good. Won a Super Bowl. Think about Lamar. Lamar went 32. They traded back in after they had drafted Hayden Hurst. They got Lamar at 32. Almost got to day 2. That worked out pretty good, right? Even though Lamar didn't win a Super Bowl, hasn't been good in the playoffs, that's what he needs to do. He needs to be good in the playoffs and get this team to a Super Bowl and have the kind of year we expect Lamar to have. I'm not saying Lamar can't. Lamar needs to. If he doesn't, and there's an injury or he doesn't get it done, then they're drafting a quarterback in the first round in 2027. Mark it down, put it in pen.
Put it in pen. Put it in pen. Y'all heard him. Put it in pen. What up, coach? What's going on, man? Happy Friday to you. And that's what I said, Glaucoma. We're acting like Lamar Jackson is just replaceable. We're acting like drafting a quarterback and having him play to an MVP level like Lamar Jackson is easy. It's easy. Oh, the Ravens drafted Joe Flacco not in the top 15. Look what he panned out to be, a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. Oh, the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson, 32 overall. The Ravens can just do it again. They can just draft a quarterback next year. He's going to be exactly what Lamar Jackson is. And all of a sudden, the Super Bowl window is going to be just as wide open as it is right now with Lamar Jackson. Insane. Insane. Again, Mel Kiper, you deserve 80,000 lashes. 80,000 lashes. Need his ass whooped for saying some dumb shit like that. Man, I tell you. It's hard being a Ravens fan, boy. It's hard being a Ravens fan. What's going on, Antonio? What's going on? Flacco had a generational playoff run. It was very abnormal. Very abnormal. Put it in pen, but he won't be held accountable for these statements either. So what's the point? Yeah, and that's the thing. That's how you know it's manufactured virality. It's manufactured virality. Because again, if you are the anchor here, if I'm that guy sitting in the chair, who is it? This guy right here. If I'm this guy sitting in the chair, I'm asking Mel Kiper, how do you figure such a thing? Like, you must have a down. You must have your ears to the streets. You must have a source. You must have a source because you're saying that you know these things for a fact. It's crazy. Crazy. Ain't nothing much, Antonio. I'm just chilling, man. Just doing my Friday pod. Just doing my Friday pod as I normally do, man. Nothing too crazy. What's going on, Mike? What up? What up? Not spending too much time here on this Friday. Didn't have too much to talk about today. Just really wanted to bring that to you guys. Drafting a quarterback is what Mel Kiper thinks the Ravens will do if the Ravens don't win a Super Bowl this year. So it's Super Bowl or bust for Lamar Jackson. Super Bowl or bust. Insane. Let's move on, though. Some other things that went down today. You had the Green Bay Packers trading wide receiver Dontavian Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2026 fifth-round pick and a 2027 sixth-round pick. It says Dontavian Wicks will sign a 1-year, $12.5 million extension with the Eagles. And Adam Schefter brings up here A.J. Brown's future in Philly remains a topic of conversation. And in the meantime, the Eagles add another wide receiver in Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay. The belief remains that if an A.J. Brown trade were to happen, it would likely occur after June 1, when the cap burden would be more manageable for the Eagles. So a lot of people are looking at this as, the Eagles kind of gearing up, putting more in the wide receiver reserves in that core and gearing up to trade A.J. Brown, gearing up for life after A.J. Brown. If you're the Eagles, and there's been a lot of rumors, lots of speculation on him not being happy in Philly, him being disgruntled. Front facingly, the Eagles organization has come out and said, we love A.J. Brown. He's a great guy and we want him here as an Eagle. All the things, that they're supposed to say. But as we know, actions speak way louder than words. And based off of A.J. Brown's actions, it doesn't really seem like he wants to be in Philly. So I think that they do end up dealing him. And it says here, again, according to Adam Schefter, if they do it after June 1st, the cap burden for the Eagles wouldn't be as bad. So bringing this back to the Ravens really quick, I know a lot of people are really thinking that the Ravens might still be in contention, right? They might still be in contention to get one A.J. Brown. I don't necessarily think that they are. I thought before that they would maybe try to pursue him, and I was hoping that they would. But now I'm kind of out on it. We already acquired Trey Hendrickson, gave him a pretty nice contract, albeit pretty team friendly at the same time. I just don't think there's enough room. There's not enough room for A.J. Brown at this point. And I see you guys agreeing with me in the chat. Would it be totally out of possibility? No. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen the Ravens take big swings so far this offseason. Abnormally big swings. Again, the Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson thing, even though Max fell through, that comes to mind. It really does seem like EDC is trying to shake some things up this offseason. So we'll see, but I don't think that they will go ahead and try to pursue A.J. Brown. I think that A.J. Brown is probably going to end up playing for the New England Patriots. I think he's going to end up playing for the Patriots. And I'm sure Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini have had multiple conversations about that, on the down low. And hell, Diana Rossini might break the story, ironically enough. We'll see. Ravens for Life says A.J. Brown would be wide receiver 1 if he came here. Oh, for sure. Oh, I mean, he'd be probably the best wide receiver the Ravens have ever had. And I don't think that that's an exaggeration. He'd probably be the best for sure. Because A.J. Brown is still in his prime. Some people might think he's not in his prime, but I think he's still squarely in his prime. He's probably got another 2 to 3 seasons max, I think, of maximum production A.J. Brown. So if we got him in here, he would definitely be wide receiver 1. He would complement Zay Flowers perfectly, and if the Ravens were to, say, for instance, really shore up the trenches in the draft and the numbers make sense, then, hey, maybe it is still possible. And we've seen bigger swings be taken by Eric DeCosta this offseason. So it's not off the table. I would love an A.J. Brown in Baltimore, but I just think that it is highly unrealistic at this point. Highly unrealistic. Ravens keeping them picks. I agree here too. Glaucoma. Here's my thing. Eric DeCosta. If you are not going to hit on these later round picks, you need to move off some of them. Okay? This is a chart here. It was posted by Jonas Schaefer earlier today. And basically what you see here is the Ravens' late round picks struggling to generate value. So this is a chart that shows you the value of picks, right? Across the x-axis. And then you see across the y-axis going up is the return on those drafted players. So the further you are to the right, the more late round picks that you have. The higher you are, is your return on investment on your drafted players. Now, if you notice, the Chiefs are in the top left. The Chiefs are in the top left of this draft here, which means they have found success with relatively few day 3 picks and beyond. Meanwhile, the Ravens have struggled to hit, despite having a lot of day 3 picks. What does this mean? This means that Eric DeCosta loves to play the lottery. That's basically what this means in a nutshell. Eric DeCosta loves to gamble. We might see a scandal or something like that, a story break soon that he's a degenerate gambler, something like that, because this guy hoards these day 3 picks like they're lottery tickets. Like they're scratch offs. He buys a bunch of them, hoping that he's going to hit big on them. When he scratches off his first day 3 pick, guy who doesn't make the team. Scratches off another day 3 pick, guy who's buried on the roster. Scratches off another day 3 pick, practice squad guy. Can never get elevated. You know, scratches off another day 3 pick. You get maybe a fringe starter who we end up trading. He's not hitting. And like my guy Coach said a couple of weeks ago on the Ravens Roundup, it's time to package some of those late round picks and get back into the 3rd round. Get back into maybe even the 2nd round. That's what needs to be done at this point. We don't need more chances, right? We need better value. We need to make better investments. Stop treating the draft like a lottery and treat it more of like an investment, right? I'd much rather invest multiple 5th round picks to get back into the 3rd round and get an actual impact player than do a crapshoot in the 5th and 6th round and get guys who, again, do not make the team or do not leave the practice squad. That's what I'm saying. So they're probably going to keep those picks, but I disagree with them doing so. I highly disagree. Mad Ross with another super chat donation. Appreciate you, brother. Says, we all know Ravens are getting a safety round 1. I will literally flip this entire desk over with my MacBook on it and all. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I just got this thing. But no, I will listen. I should do something. I'm going to do something crazy on stream. If the Ravens draft a defensive back with their 1st round pick, whether that be corner or safety, if they draft a DB in the 1st round, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure it out. I'm going to have to do something crazy. I'm going to flip shit. I know that. Something's getting flipped. Something's getting thrown, tossed, something. They better not. Go Bald is crazy. You'll be live to see it. Yes, sir. I'm doing some crazy shit. Make sure you guys like the video. Again, this is Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. My name is Sutton Def, your host. Like the video, subscribe if you are new. We'd appreciate that. Both things are free to do, by the way. After round 2, EDC panics. Yeah, bro, it gets real spooky. I don't even want to go through the names again, but it gets really, really spooky. Ravens will trade down. Facts, bro, treating them like late picks like Pokemon cards, and he keeps getting yeah, you're getting like the most common, you know what I mean? You're getting like the common weapons in rounds 4, 5, 6 and beyond. You know, you're getting common weapons. You're not finding any gems there. EDC for some reason thinks that he's gonna, put 2 cents into a slot machine and win $2 million. It's not how it works, buddy. It's not how it works. Okay? It's not how it works. You're not going to put $2 on a plus 20,000 parlay. It's just not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. All right. Black Daniels, he's getting Geo dude. Exactly. Most common of motherfuckers. Common. Appreciate the super chat donation, brother. But listen, guys, shave the beard. Shave the beard. That's a good one. I can see myself doing that. Yeah, I'll do that. It's a deal. It's a deal. If the Ravens, and put this on record right now. Put this on record right now. Let's put this on record. If the Ravens were to draft a DB in the first round, me, sudden death, I will shave my beard. I will shave the beard if we draft a DB in the first round. It'd be diabolical. It would be absolutely diabolical, but I'll do it. I'll do it. I promise. Ravens have Adisa Isaac. Why get Trey? Oh, yeah, you know. Love those late round picks, man. Love those late round picks. Adisa who? Yeah, hold me to it, Mike. Hold me to that, Mike. But nah, man. I mean, Adisa Isaac, I just don't know. What do you say about the guy? We haven't seen nearly enough of him, right? We haven't even gotten the chance to see what that guy's capable of. So, no clue about him. No clue. Let me see what else. Did I have? I think I had one more thing for you guys. Let's see. Oh, so per Kalshi, you guys know the trading app or whatever it is. Kalshi, you guys heard of that? Apparently, the Bills are the favorites to come out of the AFC in 2026, according to Kalshi right now. It's the Bills, and then it's the Ravens right underneath them, and then it's the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they have the Los Angeles Chargers. Are we really still believing in the Chargers? Are we really still believing in Justin Herbert in the Chargers after he's been in the league, again, 6 years, however long it's been, 0 playoff wins? And we're still believing in Justin Herbert in the Chargers, but Lamar Jackson, who's a 2-time MVP and has 3 playoff wins, it's Super Bowl or bust for him. And Baltimore's going to draft another quarterback. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I swear they do this shit just to piss me off. Just to piss me off. No other reason. No other reason. But it's interesting because I know if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, we saw that, I think it was DraftKings or it might have been Kalshi. Again, they were saying that, the Ravens had the highest win total, projected win total with 11.5. I think it was like over under 11.5 wins or 12.5, I think, for the Ravens. So basically what the market is saying is that the Ravens will outperform everybody else in the regular season. But then in the playoffs, they're going to fall short to Buffalo. That's basically what they're saying. Okay. Like I said, okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. If you like it, I love it, Kalshi. If you like it, I love it. That's how it goes, though. That's how it goes. Is that it? Oh, real quick. Falcons picked up running back Bijan Robinson's 5th-year contract option. Of course. They're about to pay that boy a lot of money. A boatload of money. And I don't know how hot of a take this is necessarily, but Bijan Robinson, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Bijan Robinson is the best running back in the league, bar none. Bar none. I don't want to hear nothing about no Jahmyr Gibbs, no Saquon Barkley, no, whoever else it is. Bijan Robinson is that boy. He's a dog. I don't really know what they're gonna do in Atlanta. It's funny right here. Reports say that the sky is blue. Of course, they're gonna pick up his 5th-year option. Of course, best running back in football. Nobody's debating that. Achane is up there. I mean, Achane had a good year, but Come on, man. Bijan? Nah, bro. Bijan's the best. Y'all agree, right? Y'all agree, right? Yeah, man. Him. He is him. Gibbs the truth too. Kenneth Walker is crazy. Nah, bro. I can't let you get that one off, Chief. Kenneth Walker, nice, but he's nowhere near Bijan Robinson. Nowhere near. So yeah. But listen, guys, didn't want to hold y'all too much on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the show here. Appreciate all of y'all for coming through to this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Listen, guys, we got a very, very busy week next week. We have a very busy weekend. We'll be live tomorrow for the UFC fights. If you want to watch some UFC fights with your boy Sutton, we're doing a little fight companion here on the channel, Reigning Fist Podcast. One of the first episodes of that. So make sure you tune in for that too. If you missed Sutton reactions earlier, we had a lot of fun. Make sure you check out that episode. We're doing a lot here. We've been doing a lot here on PRP. We appreciate all of you guys' support. If you could, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff. Join our membership as episode 400 is right around the corner. We're doing another giveaway for our members and our members only. Shout out to y'all. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Stay positive, test negative, and always, always remember to call God. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.